of the real highlights of the conference was Adam sharing prompts. It's something we've seen again and again and again. People want to see how people do this. It's like cooking shows. Every executive briefing now, we do it. We do prompts. After the conference, John Svilka and I spoke to an entire management team and board at CIBC Bank, which is a top 10 bank in North America, and we did prompts. We just had a briefing with the hedge fund on Friday. We did prompts. Everyone needs to see this, and we continue to feel really strongly that executives need to have 3 hours of hands-on time, or they really don't have a right to opine on this. And just as I argue it's irresponsible to have someone on your board who's never used a browser opine on internet-based investments, I assert it's equally as irresponsible to opine on this technology if you've not talked. Everyone's got an opinion on it, but you do need to get your hands in the water here. And to that end, let's turn it over to our resident guru and master, Adam.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to try and keep these about 5 minutes in the spirit of 5 minutes of Dr. John as well, and do a quick showcase. But what I want to share about briefly here is actually a new advanced voice mode from OpenAI, which is available now in the desktop. I'm going to hop right over. I have a spreadsheet here, and we'll come back to this in a second. This is some data I had ChatGPT create just for a demo. It's not real customer information, but you'll see we have customer names. We have the number of seats of licensing, hypothetically, that were sold. And I need to make a report where I have how many seats did Angela buy? And let's just pretend I don't know how to do that. So I'm going to show how this co-assistant that Paul's talking about, this co-intelligence, can sit in the background and actually help me while I'm working in another screen. I'm also going to use a term Aizuchi. It's a Japanese term, which is where you make sounds to acknowledge that you're listening, but you don't interrupt. And I find by telling the advanced voice mode, I'll put it in the chat as well later, but by telling it to use this mode, I find it's much more passive. It doesn't interject. It doesn't cut me off, which is one of the challenges I had personally with the advanced voice mode. So here you can see this is my desktop client for the chat tool. And this button right here at the bottom of the chat says use voice mode. And I'll just kick that off now. And you can all just watch me work with, as I call her, Juniper, because that's the voice I use, to get some help over in Excel. So I click the voice mode, and here we go. Hey, Juniper, first things first, can you please use English language Aizuchi mode for our conversation today?
Got it. We'll use English language Aizuchi mode today. What's next on the agenda?
Just while I go over to my Excel, can you explain briefly what that means, the Aizuchi mode?
Sure. Aizuchi is a Japanese conversational style involving interjections to show that you're actively listening. In English, this could be sounds or words like
Okay, that's great. Thanks. I also love that I can interrupt her. So I want your help today. I'm working in Excel, and I have columns for customer name, the city, the state, the number of licensing seats sold. The problem is, for example, I see Angela Kemp on a bunch of different rows, and I just want some sort of roll-up report that'll tell me for each customer name how many seats were sold. Can you help me make that?
Absolutely. We can create a roll-up report for that. In Excel, we can use a pivot table to summarize the total number
Yeah,
of
that'd be
seats.
perfect. Why don't you walk me through the steps, and at each step, just I'll acknowledge that I've done what you've asked me to, and then we can move forward.
Great, let's get started. First, select any cell within your data range.
Okay, got it.
Awesome. Now, go to the Insert tab on the ribbon and click on Pivot Table.
Yep, got it.
Great. In the Create Pivot Table dialog box, your data range should already be selected.
Yeah, and I'll just go ahead and put this on a new worksheet. So what do I do now?
Perfect. Now you'll see a new worksheet with the pivot table layout. On the right, there's a pivot table fields pane.
Yep.
Great. Next, drag the seats sold field to the values area. Excel will automatically calculate the sum of seats for each customer.
Oh, wait, did I need to drag something else? I see the sum of the seats sold, but I don't see the customer names.
No worries. No worries. It sounds like you've got the seats sold in the right place. Now, make sure you've dragged the customer name field to the rows area.
Ah, got
This
it.
should
Yep.
list.
Oh, yeah. There I
Excellent.
go. Great. Thanks. That's all I need from you right now.
You're welcome. Glad I could help. If you need anything else, just let me know.
So that's a pretty basic example, but it gives you the idea of how you can be actively working somewhere and have this conversation with this co-intelligence going on in the background to help you with what you're trying to get done. So that's a quick Adam's AI adventure into advanced voice mode with ChatGPT.
Fantastic, Adams. Any quick questions for Adam before we go to Humphrey? For folks who haven't tried voice mode, I really encourage you to do it. I take it on my car every time, but every time now I go into voice mode from my car and have a conversation on any new topic I want to learn about or debating issue. It's really a very different experience when you're doing voice back and forth. It really starts feeling like a colleague. Well, thank you, Adam. That was fantastic.